Family, what's going on, guys? What is up? What is going on? Welcome to today's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys this morning as we are preparing ourselves for the release of non-farm payrolls, guys. NFP is going down in literally about 18 minutes. All right, so we have non-farm payrolls, guys. We have the unemployment rate as well that we have to be aware of, that we have to pay attention to. Just because, again, a lot of big-time traders and investors, guys, are all paying attention to this data because this data is what's going to tell us what we could do next, right? But let's see who we got in the building with us today, family. All right, let's see who we got. We got Father Prime. Shout out to my brother Joe. I appreciate you, bro. Much love. Good to see you on the call, my brother. Let's get it. Right, we got a legend, right? Anytime we got Father Prime in the building, family, it's going to be a phenomenal morning, right? But let's see what else we got here, boys. Just looking at the market in the sauna. Let's go. Right, the Noti Gang. Shout out to all y'all that was a part of, that got the update. Right, I love all my Noti Gang members as well. I appreciate y'all. Let's see, I was just about to catch last night's replay. Yeah, last night's replay was definitely a banger, right? Definitely a banger, right? What's going on, George? Good to see you in the chats. Right, Oscar, I see you. Chino. Brother Joseph, what's going on? I appreciate y'all. Free Zone, what's going on? Luke, good to see you in the chats as well. Tammy, what is going on? Good to see you, family. So again, we're just gonna be patient, and we're just gonna pretty much just look at the markets, guys, and analyze it right before the release. Then we're gonna see how the market is going to react based off the data that was actually released. And if there is something that we could take advantage of, guys, that I'm confident with, then yeah, we're gonna definitely talk about that and probably do it, right? But overall, we're just chilling for now, guys, right? We do have, again, around 17 minutes before the actual release, so we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. Now, let's take some predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen, right? What do you guys think is actually going to happen, family, right? What do you guys think non-farm is going to come out as? Do you guys think the unemployment rate is going to go higher? Do you think it's going to go lower? Do you think non-farm is going to come out higher, meaning more people were actually employed than what was expected? Or are we going to see a decrease in people being employed, right? What do you guys think? Now, again, there's really no wrong answer for this because there's a lot of confusion around this topic, right? Nobody really knows, guys, with 100% certainty as to what these numbers are actually going to come out as. Now, obviously, we can utilize certain clues and certain indicators to help us predict these things, but at the end of the day, nobody really knows, right? Nobody knows what's going on behind closed doors. But it is good just to, have these predictions, guys, and at least try to position ourselves so that we can take advantage of it if it does actually come out, right? So let's see what we got here. Let's see. Last night's session. Yeah, last night's session was absolutely fire, right? Shintaka, good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the building. What is going on? Let's see. First time I catch you during the day. Normally in South Africa, I get up around 3 a.m. What's going on? Do me. Right, yeah, I definitely wanted to come on this morning just to trade New York session, but also trade just mainly the release with you guys live, right? At least give you guys my opinions, my thoughts. And then when the release actually comes out, give you my opinions and my thoughts based off the actual data, right? But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting morning overall. But it's definitely a pleasure to see you guys, see you on the chat. Right, let's see what else we got here. Good morning, fam. Good to hear your insight on that charity stream. Yeah, Motor Trader, shout out to you. I appreciate you. Right, we got Alex in the building. Wisconsin, stand up. I see y'all. What's going on, Alex? Good to see you. Right, what is up? I am Big Ed. What's going on, Ed? Good to see you in the chats. I'm blessed, man. I can't complain whatsoever, guys. Absolutely amazing. I woke up on the good side of the bed this morning. All right, absolutely in profit. Where's my phone? Where is my phone? Not this one. Where's my other phone? Where did I put my phone? I don't even know where I put my other phone. Give me 1 second, family. I gotta find that phone. All right. So, again, I woke up in a very good mood because what we spoke about last night is doing this thing, guys, right? So, again, I gave you guys a few different ideas that I was interested in last night. I'll actually show you guys them. The first one that I told you guys I was interested was EURUSD. Obviously, I was looking for the short opportunity up here at this area of supply. Just looking for this continuation, guys, because overall, this market has just been super choppy over the past week or so. So, it's definitely a little bit of an annoying currency pair to trade right now, especially if you don't have patience. But yeah, I think it's actually preparing itself now for that big sell-off, right? So market did reaching towards our area of interest, guys, right? Towards where I had my pending order at, but it did not actually hit it, right? So literally came within, 6 pips, around 5 to 6 pips, guys, from my actual entry before it actually started to drop. Now, I'm still going to hold this, right? I'm still very much going to hold this, guys, even through news. Because, again, I do think no matter what the news comes out as, unless it's like a drastic miss, I'm still thinking in my mind, right, that I'm still going to be bullish the U.S. dollar, right? So that's just a little framework behind my approach, right? So, yeah, this is what we were looking at last night. The market did go towards that area. We just, it just ended up missing our entry, right? So I'm still going to hold it. I'm only risking 1%, though. Keep in mind, guys, right? I'm only risking 1% because it is news, right? It is NFP. The market literally has the ability to do whatever the hell it truly wants. Okay, yeah, I can have all these indicators and all these biases saying that it's going to drop, but then the market turns around, then what, right? So I'm only risking 1% on all of these opportunities. Only 1%. So if I take a L, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to forget about it immediately, right? Because I'm not losing much compared to my account balance at least, right? But yeah, this is the one opportunity, guys, again, it did just miss, right? So another one that we looked at, AUD/USD, right? Literally right at that area, guys, that I'm actually very interested as well for some shorts on, right? So yeah, I'm still very much interested, guys, in actually seeing this go lower. So looking for an opportunity to go short on AUD/USD. Again, keep in mind of news, right? You might want to just wait for news, but I still think that there is a good chance for price to actually continue to roll over to the downside, guys, right? So yeah, I like it. Again, if the market just does something differently, it is what it is. We'll just readjust and we'll come back and figure out the next best play, right? But for right now, I don't know. I'm liking this. I'm liking this move lower, guys, for AUD/USD as well, right? But this is the other one that I was really interested in. Just again, staying with the overall flow of these markets. These markets have been extremely bearish, and I think that we can continue to see AUD/USD go bearish all the way, right? Again, if we can get this entry, guys, like I really like, we'll move all the way back down to these lows, right around 0.67. So we're talking about risking 24 pips to go for around 100, a 4-to-1 risk to reward. So if I'm risking 1%, I'm going for 4% gains if this target actually hits. Right, if I'm risking 2%, I'm going for 8% gains if this target actually hits. That's why risk to reward, guys, is absolutely one of the most important things that you have to understand, especially if you're a newer trader. Right, if you are a newer trader and all you're experiencing right now is what you seem is more loss than anything, right? More losses than anything, then you definitely have to start to understand risk to reward and start to implement risk to reward rules, so that at the very least, you're giving yourself still a better chance of being profitable, right? Because I know traders, guys, that are literally only around 30% accurate, right? Literally only winning 3 out of 10 trades. But because their risk to reward is around 5-to-1, 6-to-1, right? They have great risk to rewards. They're still extremely profitable, right? In fact, they're multi-million-dollar traders. So risk to reward is the name of the game, right? It's not your win rate. So many people focus on their accuracy, their win rate, where as long as you focus on risk to reward, your win rate and your accuracy really isn't. It's important, but not as important now because we're able to pretty much mitigate ourselves, right? So very important, guys. Risk to reward is crucial. Okay, so yeah, seeing how the market reacts to this level, guys, is going to be very interesting. Now, I get this question all the time, right? Abel, how do we know when it's time to actually jump in, right? That's the big question that everybody wants to know, right? Well, there's a few ways to do it. You can either be aggressive with the entry, or you could be a little bit more cautious, right? Where you're actually waiting for a little more. So with the aggressive approach, yeah, once the market gets up there, you take that trade, right? If we're using like a pending order, it's more a pending order entry, guys, is a little bit more aggressive than you actually waiting for price and waiting for that confirmation, right? Waiting for that shift, to a downtrend on the smaller time frames, right? So it really depends on what type of style of trader that you are, right? And what you're able to actually deal with. Certain traders are able to, deal with pending orders better than taking market execution, right? Because now you're not just waiting for anything, right? Because waiting for candlestick confirmation, waiting for patterns, waiting for rejections, all that stuff, guys, especially if you're newer, that's going to really start to have you overcomplicating things and overthinking things, right? So if you're newer, more times than not, it's probably best just to use pending orders, right? Let the market get to that area and then make sure that you enter when it gets there. The only thing is you are going to have to make sure that your stop loss is wide enough, right? Because now You're taking a pending order trade, so your stop has to go above the high just in case the market did end up going into a little bit of drawdown. So, but that's it. If you want to be aggressive, take it on the tusk using a pending order, or even when price gets up there. If you want to be a little bit more conservative, what you can do, and this is typically what I like to do, right? You see I'm on the 5-minute lower time frames, right? 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute time frame. Now I'm just looking for evidence, right? Now on these smaller time frames, guys, once we actually do get up into that area that I'm interested, right, I'm going to be looking for something like this, right? Let me actually show y'all. Let me see if I can drag. There we go. Right, so I'm literally going to be looking for this on these smaller time frames, by the way, right? Like the time frame is literally going to be the same, right? Same exact thing. Once we get up into that kill zone, that sweet spot, I want to see something like this where we enter in this level. We do start to create structure, right? But then we get the shift, right? Once we get that shift, guys, which is the break on the smaller time frame, right? The same things that we're looking for on the bigger picture is the same thing that we're looking for in the smaller time frame, guys, because these markets are fractal, right? So it's very repetitive from bigger time frame all the way down. Okay, so yeah, once we do get into this area, I want to see price create some type of structure and then give us a sign of strength, right? Give us a sign of strength. Or in this instance, actually a sign of weakness, right? Since we're trading the Aussie dollar, right? So we want to see a sign of weakness come in with is going to show us a break of structure. And then on that break, a short-term pullback can then be your entry to go ahead and get involved, guys. So again, two real main ways to enter this market, right? Either going to be aggressive using a pending order, or you can still enter market execution as well on the aggressive once price gets to that level. Or you could be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more patient, and actually wait for confirmation, okay? Now, the downfalls of both is if you're aggressive, then obviously, yeah, you know, you really didn't get no real confirmation besides maybe using structure to the left, right? Using previous history, right? Previous price action, which could help. But there's always that situation where the market just doesn't care about that level, right? And we end up getting stopped out. So that's the only downfall with the aggressive thing, right? Now, with the conservative way of trading, there's times where you might actually end up missing the trade as well, right? Where we don't actually get the pullback, okay? We could see the break, we're waiting for the pullback, and it just never pulls back and just starts tumbling, right? So that's another thing that we have to be aware of for the more conservative entry, guys. But it really, at the end of the day, comes down to you as a trader and what you're comfortable with trading and what you're comfortable with actually doing. All right, if you're comfortable with taking the aggressive trades and you're not worried about drawdown and you have patience to actually let the market do what it does, then yeah, you know, do aggressive, right? Take the trade as soon as it gets there. But if you know you struggle with patience, with discipline, and with all that, then you're probably going to have to just be a little bit, try to gain some patience and just wait for the market to tell you with a break of structure or something like that, right? So that's pretty much how I play that, guys. But overall, yeah, AUD USD is still very interesting. You know, we're getting up into that level. So, you know, once we get up there, we'll see what the market ends up actually doing. And we're not that far. Literally only a few pips away, by the way. Literally only a few pips. So it'll probably be up there literally by the end of this stream. Now, again, we do have news in 6 minutes. So if you're not in any trades right now, family, do not try to jump into a trade right now, right? I do not recommend trying to jump into trades, all right, pre-news. That's way too risky. Okay, I'm just giving you guys my ideas of what I want to do from a technical perspective, right? I would love to see this roll over, but entering before the actual release is super risky, especially this close to the release, because you really don't know what the heck price is going to do, right? So what I recommend is don't try to trade the actual open, right? Let the trade come, or let the release come out, let the news drop. Give it 5 to 10, 15 minutes, see how the market is reacting, and then try to look for an entry, right? But trading before news, I personally do not recommend, right? So again, even for me, the only trade that I'm currently in, guys, is this GJ. I'm actually about to close this out right now as well. Let me actually close this before I forget. Let me actually close this before I forget. All right, perfect. So this was the only trade that I was currently in. So even myself, guys, right, I'm not in anything right now, but I am ready to act if I get what I'm looking for, okay? So if the market does spike up into these areas and we start to see what I look for on the smaller time frames, then I'm going to be ready to go ahead and react, right? But that was the one opportunity I was looking for. Euro, AUD, USD, again, also I was keeping my eyes on, and then GJ. right? And then GJ was that last one, guys, that I told you guys I was keeping my eyes on. And obviously, I was in this position for a few days, but finally the market did end up running to the highs. Now, again, my long-term goal, guys, is for this to absolutely run higher. I would love for this 163 level to absolutely get destroyed. It's just we've been very, very, very choppy for the yen, which is why I decided just now to close out, right? Because now we're at this level of resistance. And I mean, if we're looking at previous history, this thing is just super, super choppy, right? So I just closed out. I'll wait. I'll be patient, right? If we can now see price push back down, I believe this is what I told you guys yesterday as well in last night's stream, that I want to look for a re-entry somewhere down here around this 161.6 level, 161.7, and that's still very much there. So I'm just gonna be patient now. Again, I already just closed out the bag. I made a nice little return on that one, but yeah, now it's just about seeing what we can do next, guys. So again, I'm not interested in GJ now unless we actually come down to here, and then we can look for, in my opinion, I want to see higher highs to come in. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Let me catch up with the chats. All right, just because yesterday's move on USD. Grand Rising. Christian, what's good, dog? Let's see. Yesterday's live session with Chart Addicts was full of gems. Let's go. Appreciate y'all that was actually on that live stream as well with Chart Addicts. Them boys is still live right now. They're legit going for 24 hours, man. For charity, too. So shout out to Roy and the Chart Addicts team. Absolutely amazing for them to actually do a 24-hour live stream with all the proceeds that are actually collected going to charity, which is amazing. Let's see. AUD to sell off last night. Yep, let's get it. Good morning, great day, Vaughn. What's going on, dog? Good to see you. Good to see you. Dinfo and Sussu is my first live session all the way from South Africa. What is going on, guys? Shout out to you guys as well. Let's see. Amateurs think of reward, then risk. Pros think of risk and reward. That's so true, Christian. Right, that is so true. I see. I use alerts. I mark up my zone, set it, and forget it. I'm not in the charts all day. I just wait on my setups. There we go, Oscar. Right? Yeah. And again, that's, in my opinion, that's the easiest way to do it. Right? Set it and forget it. Use a pending order. Don't even try to, especially if you're newer. Right? If you're newer, you trying to sit there and trying to read price, trying to read and dissect these or decipher these candlestick patterns. Because again, these candlestick patterns, guys, we all know for the most part, you know, what they should look like or what the patterns could be, right? Especially at major levels. But even then, it still gets a little tough, right? Reading it, because now it's time to enter the market, right? So we always overcomplicate, especially, and I'm talking to the newer traders, right? We always overcomplicate things, guys, when we know it's time for us to press buy or sell. So we can have an idea in our head. We can have an entire process, an entire blueprint. But when it's time to enter, see, now we're trying to get, we're starting to get cold feet. Right now, we're starting to overthink the fact that, man, what if I am wrong, right? What if I this? What if that, right? So that's pretty much what it comes down to. All right, but let's see, guys. So we do have less than a minute, right? We have 30 seconds left, guys, before the act, or 50 seconds left for NFP, right? So we're going to be patient. We're going to see what the market does. I'm actually going to watch the indices overall to see how they actually react to NFP. Right, but we'll see what happens here. Now, again, about 40 seconds left, guys. But for what I think can happen, or what I would like to see, and this is literally what I'm going to be taking advantage of, guys, right? So if the indices, for whatever reason, because I'm still very much bearish this, if we see a spike back up, right, maybe back up to this level of structure up here, I might consider actually looking to go short off of that, all right? Trying to sell and staying in this sell that we pretty much been with, right? So, but we'll see what happens. Again, we do have around literally less than 10 seconds now at this point. All right, so we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what really comes out. Let's see. What's up, fan? Late start this morning, but I made it. Kyle, what's going on, Kyle? Good to see you in the chat, my brother. I appreciate you. All right, guys, so we did actually, let's see what we got here. Whoa, big spike up. Oh, my goodness. Let's see. What did it come out as? So NFP actually did come out higher. The unemployment rate did actually go up. All right. Oh, we missed it. Right, guys, so the unemployment rate actually did come out higher, right? That is massive, right? The fact that unemployment rate actually did come out higher is pretty much lining up with what I've been telling you guys, right? With the job markets, right? The one thing that the Federal Reserve has been relying on is the fact that we have a stronger jobs market, and it is true, right? We have had. But I also told you guys that the labor market, guys, is a lagging indicator. It's lagging, right? So there was a bunch of things that happen first before we started to see the job market actually start to take a hit next. All right. So overall, this is very interesting, right? I'm taking this, guys, as very much risk off. Very, very much risk off sentiment. So let's see what we can actually do, right? I think we're still very much risk off, right? Let's see what the dollar's doing. The dollar's obviously going to be falling if NAS is flying. I think all of this, guys, is absolutely going to be short-lived, all right? I think that absolutely this is all going to be short-lived, right? And this is why I didn't want to take the news, take the trade right before news, because something like this. But I think this is all going to be short-lived, guys. And I could be wrong, right? I could be 1,000% wrong, but I don't know. Looking to sell the indices, set up for the sell, probably not a bad idea, right? So let me go ahead and go to lower time frame now, and I'm just gonna start to read price and see if I mean this level right here, guys. Remember what I just told y'all? If we get up to that level, man, I'm very interested, very interested in looking at the actual short opportunity itself, right? So let me see. Let me go ahead and bring this up. Let me just take myself off the screen really quickly, and let's see if we can grab something. Let's see. I'm telling you, I just have a feeling, guys, that all this is going to be short-lived off that release, right? All this momentum that we're currently seeing, I'm not falling for it. I think it's going to be short-lived. I could be wrong, though, right? But I think it's going to be short-lived. All right, the data is showing, right, that we now have increased. Our unemployment rate has now finally gone up. This is not going to bring confidence, guys, into the markets. This is only going to continue to add the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that we've been experiencing. Okay? That's all this is doing right now, especially with this. Again, this is the one thing that the Fed has been relying on, is the strong jobs report, strong unemployment. We're now starting to see this break. We're now starting to see it actually go higher, right? We're at 3.7% now, which is still technically low. But again, it's finding that support level now for unemployment, right? We found that support, and we're starting to actually bounce off of that support, right? So let's actually go ahead and just look at this little chart here, guys, for the unemployment rate, and just start to look at pretty much what the unemployment rate has been doing. We could just look at since the beginning of this year, right? So we have beginning of this year around right here. It goes for me. Yeah, so if we look at this, guys, right, we had low unemployment, like extremely low unemployment, right, ever since we started to rebound for the entire COVID issue. All right, if we look at this thing from the bigger perspective, when COVID came in, obviously nobody was working with COVID, right? So the unemployment rate went all the way up to around 14%, all right, literally back in August, right? Ever since then, it obviously did start to rebound once the economy started to open. But now it seems like, guys, we might have found, again, a low right here at around 3.5%. And I would not be surprised if, again, we do start to see this number tick back higher. This is pretty much what we've been predicting, what I've been expecting with you guys. And it's literally playing out. So, again, this number, guys, is not looked at as good for the economy. And, yeah. So, again, I think all this stuff is going to be short-lived, right? I get it. We're seeing a lot of strong momentum right now. But all this is doing is giving me an opportunity to go ahead and jump in. All right, so let me see what we let me see what we got here. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. All right, I think we really do end up falling off from here. When is NAS open, right? So the New York Stock Market Exchange does open in about an hour. Right, so we do have, obviously, you know, New York session is open, but the actual stock market doesn't open for another hour. So that's something we have to keep in mind of. But again, guys, I don't know. It's just me, but I think we fundamentally, like, we should really end up, you know, falling off from these levels, right? Let's go take a look at the dollar. The dollar's obviously selling off because the indices are flying, but same concept, guys. Again, I think very much so that there's a good chance that we do rebound, right, for the dollar. Now, there is a couple levels I'm going to keep my eyes on. This level of structure that we're at now. But we also do have this area down here, guys, where this gap was end up creating, right? Now, a gap shows, guys, just how much pressure, buying pressure there was at that level. So, yeah, there is a chance for whatever reason for price to get down there. But if we get down here, I don't know, I'm going heavy. I'm going heavy buys, right? So, interesting levels, though, guys. Interesting release as well, seeing that the unemployment rate actually did go higher. So, yeah, you know, I'm expecting overall this little momentum that we just seen, this little spike down, right, for the dollar, I think is going to be short-lived. Fundamentally, it makes sense for the dollar, right, on high unemployment news, for the dollar to actually benefit off of that, right? So we'll see what happens, though. Let's see what's up, family. Let's see what else we got here. Hidden divergence on the hour. Okay, yeah. I mean, there's actually a lot of divergence across the board, guys, for a lot of different assets, if we're being honest. Right, let's see. XAU moves on NFP a lot. I noticed, too. Right, so, I mean, gold has been doing exactly what we did talk about last night. I told you guys that I wanted to see, you know, the market react bullish down here off these levels, so then eventually, you know, set ourselves up for the sell. So that's still very much possible. I still think that we could, guys, if right, again, I don't know, I'm not psychic, right? And that's what a lot of traders need to stop trying to assume that all of us on YouTube or anybody that's been doing this, right, that we're psychic. It's not about being psychic, right? It's about just identifying high probability opportunities based off just the data and the back testing that you've done, right? So for me, yeah, I still very much would love to look for the market to continue higher, but then eventually sell off. The only thing is, I'm not sure if we are going to make it up here, right? I'm not sure if we're going to make it to that 1730, which was initially my main area to actually look for entries from, was that 1730. But again, I'm not sure if we are going to be able to actually get up there. There's actually a chance for price to realistically turn around right from this order block that we're currently right now testing. Right, so gold, I'm gonna be a little bit more cautious. I'm gonna be a little patient with this one, seeing what the market does end up giving us. But my bias, my blueprint is for continuations lower. All right, see what we got here. So EURUSD, guys, is at that area of interest that I was speaking to you guys about, looking very, very juicy as well. All right, so again, if we can hold this order block right here, which I think there is a chance, right, then obviously I would love for this thing to actually go ahead and roll over. Now, again, if you guys are taking any of these trades, guys, please be the responsible trader, right? Please do the right thing and do not over leverage. I'm not over leveraging, right? Most of these traders that you guys are probably following are also not over leveraging most of the time. So take heed of that, right? You know, success leaves clues, guys, right? If you're constantly hearing on these streams or through your mentor, whoever they are, to not over leverage, right, to risk 1 to 2%, then actually do it. Because everything changed for me once I actually started to get some discipline in my life, right? Let me actually go ahead and I actually turned my camera off for a little bit, but what helped me out, guys, was my discipline, right? My ability to be disciplined is the biggest reason why I am able to make money consistently from these markets. It's that simple. It has nothing to do with my understanding of tech. I mean, it does, right? They all play a part, but the main important thing that's allowing me is my discipline, right? My discipline, okay? That's really the biggest thing, guys, that's allowing me to actually go ahead and see the results. Is because I understand what I'm supposed to do and I'm actually following through with it. A lot of you guys that are listening to me right now, you guys know exactly what to do, but blown accounts or losses continue to come probably just because you're, again, not being disciplined, right? So discipline is probably more important, guys, than anything else out there, so just do that, right? But overall, let's see what we got here. So again, I think there's a good chance. So if you guys are going to be taking any opportunity, do not over leverage. The market can do whatever it wants at the end of the day. All right. So let's see what we got. Let's go back to the indices. Let's go back to NAS. So again, NAS is just chilling at this level of structure still. Right. So again, when we are at these levels of interest, like I said, it's all about going to smaller time frame, guys, if you want to be a little bit more cautious or a little bit more conservative. Right. Like right now, we can see that this market is, you know, getting very choppy up at these levels. Right. So the moment that we do start to see a break, that could be clues, right? So that could be clues, guys, of the market actually shifting. So we're here on the 1 minute time frame, right? So if we can see a break down here on the 1 minute, right? Maybe a break of this low right here that was created, then that could be enough to trigger that continuation lower. All right. So again, be patient, right? We are at these interesting levels, but it's all about being patient now because of news, because of the unpredictableness, and because, again, we can have our bias, but the market's still going to do what it wants to do, right? So, but that's what I'm talking about, guys, when it comes to identifying entries based off of more of a conservative approach. Wait for the shift. Right now, we have all this momentum, right? We still have technically the market creating these little short-term higher highs and higher highs. They're very small higher highs, but they're still being there, right? So we have to be patient. 1 minute time frame. Wait for the shift, and then you can go ahead and go in if you wanted to be more of a conservative, or at least look at it from a conservative approach. All right, so that's just my opinion, guys, on how, or not my opinion, but that's literally how I look for entries, right? Especially when we're at key levels and we're looking at it from a market execution, like real-time opportunity. That's normally what I need to see. Okay. So let's see here. We are starting to break down on this 1 minute time frame, guys, for NAS. Again, like I told you guys, I'm expecting these things to roll back over. All right, I'm expecting these things to roll back over. Let's see what else we got here. I just hopped in gold sells right now, under leveraging. Let's go, play God. All right, just the fact that you're under leveraging, it's already a win. Right, it's already a win. Let's see. Why will dollar increase if the unemployment is higher? Right, that's a great question, Amy. And that comes back to, again, just understanding the difference between something that's going to benefit the economy and something that could benefit the currency, right? Those are completely different things, right? Because if you're a trader or an investor, there's usually a decision that you have to make. All this cash, if you're sitting on cash right now, if you're liquid cash, right? Say you have $10 million in cash and you're trying to, figure out what to do with it. It's either you're going to continue to sit on that cash because of the market conditions are not favorable for an investment like what we're dealing with today, right? These conditions that we're in right now, guys, with high interest rates, high inflation, that is not favorable for investors to start investing into riskier plays again, right? So that's one thing. So understand that. But there's also a difference with the currency. If there's some data that's positive for the economy, that is going to be negative for the currency. Why? Because if it's positive data that comes out, people are going to be taking their dollars and they're going to be investing it into the stock market, invested into the equities markets, right? So we're literally losing demand for the dollar, and the demand for the equities market is now starting to pick up, okay? So negative data, though, if we get negative data that comes out, it's the flip side. That's going to negatively impact the equities market, and that is going to positively impact the dollar. Because now off of negative data, those that are invested into the stock market, the equities market, the crypto market, these riskier plays, off of negative data, they're now going to go back into the dollar, right? The demand for the dollar is now going to be picking up because of the negative data, right? So it's very important to really just understand that. Okay, really, really understand that. All right, so let's see what we got here, right? 3 minute OB. Yeah, look at this, right? Absolutely beautiful, guys. This thing is absolutely doing exactly. And if I'm going to be honest with y'all, I actually did jump in. All right, if I'm being honest with y'all, I actually did already jump into this trade. Just because, so again, you guys are not going to be able to see it just because it's on the screen, but I do got some, oh, my camera ain't even on. Right, I do got some decent entries right now, guys, all the way up there. So I am currently floating, but, it's still so early. We'll see what happens. But like I said, I do think these things are just going to continue. Like this was a pump fake right here, guys. Right, this was absolutely a pump fake all day long. Again, the data, high employment, technically is not going to be something that's positive for the actual indices, right? So, yeah, I think that this is definitely something that we can experience more of a selling off on, guys. And it's going to be the same thing across the board, right? The dollar index should be gaining strength. Yep. Euro should be starting to sell. Yep. Look at the euro. Absolutely, absolutely beautiful rejection. AUD, look at this with AUD USD, guys, up in that area. Oh, my God. Look at that rejection, right? So, again, if anybody took this, man, the guys, it's all been on the table here, right? NZD USD, same thing, starting to reject. UJ should start to go higher. Yeah, I mean, look at this. Like, this is literally in real time, guys. We're starting to see all this stuff, right? In real time. And this just really comes back, guys, to, again, the importance of understanding fundamental and sentimental analysis, right? You guys see, for me, I'm a very calm demeanor now, even while looking at this stuff live in real time. The reason for it is because the data, right? I'm not just looking at the random market and just taking random things. No, I'm looking at what the data is saying. Right, and I'm using that data to help me predict what the market can do next. Okay, the data is showing that this is going to benefit the dollar because it came out negative. Right, bad U.S. data is going to benefit the U.S. dollar. Right, positive U.S. data is going to negatively impact the U.S. dollar. Right, understand the difference between the demand. Right, this is the biggest, and again, I already spoke about it earlier, guys, but this is the biggest confusion that a lot of traders have. Right, so when we're talking about equities markets, right, that's pretty much talking about every single asset market as a whole, right? So stock market, crypto market, all these things can be considered under the equities market, right? But when we're looking at these markets, guys, we have to figure out, all right, which one is going to be in more demand. Is it going to be the equities market, or is it going to be the actual fiat currency? Right? And based off the actual release, one of these is going to be in more demand than the other. Right? So based off the current data that we had, in unemployment rate going higher, right? That is now going to cause people that are in the equities markets to look at that as negative data, and that's going to make them want to go ahead and convert whatever they're invested into fiat currency, right? Or the US dollar. Right? Big shout out to George. I appreciate you, George. Let's go. Man, you dropped the 20 bomb on us today. Let's go, George. I appreciate you constantly showing love, constantly supporting the channel. It definitely means a lot to me for sure, right? But back to this, guys. So again, when we have negative data, that's going to cause the stock market to drop, but it's only going to cause the stock market to drop because people are now liquidating and they're going to currencies. Right, they're going to something that is more safer, that is clearly less volatile because typically it doesn't actually move, right? But that's pretty much how it works, guys, right? Please understand the difference between the two, okay? Positive data is going to benefit the equities market, right? Stock, crypto, whatever. Positive data is going to cause fiat currency to drop because now the demand is not going to be as high because people are going to be invested over here, okay? And then the flip side to that as well. All right, so that's literally exactly, guys, why we were able to find these things and able to take advantage of it, right? Look at this. Look at gold, right? Like I said, again, gold, same thing. Like this on the drop on gold, guys, is nuts. This is already a 100 pip drop right here. Same concept, selling gold, right? Continue to sell this thing down. Like literally, the price went right up to where I wanted it to go to as well, guys, from where we spoke about yesterday. Again, I just ended up not setting an order, unfortunately. I should have definitely looked at gold and put this pending order, but it is what it is. Right, but overall, you know, again, the market is doing exactly what we expect, playing out exactly what we think should have. Look at this reaction, guys. Like, again, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Right, absolutely beautiful. Right, that would have been cool if we would have got that retest, that live OB retest, right, Jude? Right, shout out to Jude. I know Jude been paying attention to that boy Skaggs with those live OBs. Shout out to that boy Skaggs. Right, but yeah, them live OBs be absolutely on the money, right? So yeah, you know, we didn't really get the initial retest of it, but overall, yeah, this thing is going crazy, right? This is my first time actually winning on NFP. Let's go. Shout out to you, right? It's important to understand, guys, that the data is always going to lead in the right direction, right? When you understand the data, and that's why I tell you guys that fundamental and sentimental analysis, guys, holds a little bit more weight than technicals, right? That's why you guys don't ever see me come on here and then strictly get into technical analysis. That's just not my approach, right? My approach as a trader is to figure out what the data is saying and then align myself from a technical perspective to what the data is saying, right? My ultimate deciding factor, guys, for jumping into positions is literally just news. What is the news saying? What is the data? What is happening? How are traders and investors approaching the overall state of the markets? Right? Is there a time right now? Are we in a time right now where the stock market can benefit, or are we in a time right now where the stock market is going to continue to decrease? When you understand what the hell is going on, absolute game changer, right? Absolute game changer. And I hope you guys seen that literally by just today's release, right? Like looking like this thing again, I would not be surprised that these just continued, right? Right now, again, my NAS setup, it's not doing too bad, right? Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad at all. Let's see where we're at again. Yeah, so I'm literally up around $800 just that quick. Right? A quick 800. Even though that's light. That's not bad. Right? That's not bad. Right? So now it's just about seeing if we can just hold these levels now and just continue in those directions, right? That's literally the next main objective, right? You know what I'm saying? But let's see, GJ. Yeah, GJ, we're just chilling, right? Again, I'm still very much bullish, GJ. I just don't want to buy at these levels, right? I have no interest in trying to buy all the way up here once we already seen a big move, right? So again, for GJ, I already ended up clearing, right? I already cleared, guys, almost $2,500 off of just GJ. When I closed it earlier with you guys, like I closed actually $2,600, right? So I'm chilling, right? I'm not gonna chase this at all, right? I'm gonna wait for this to. If we can pull back, then I'll get involved. If we don't pull back, then I don't care for it, right? It is what it is. You know, there's a lot more other setups that I'm more interested in right now than than trying to catch or run this GJ, right? And I know some of you guys are probably trying to sell this. Just be careful. I think overall we still have, in my opinion, more bullishness for pound. I just don't want to sell it from here, and I don't want to buy it from here, right? I'm only interested in buying when we get down to a specific level, right? Maybe that 161.5 is very interesting. Let's see. Got a bag on gold. Let's go in, Nas. Let's get it, free zone. That's what I love to see. Let's see. Gold at work. You make it look easy. It's the thing. It's because, again, my confidence is just through the roof because of the information that I have. Like, even if I were to lose on this stuff, right? Like, this is the thing, guys, right? Even if I were to lose on it, I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine. It is what it is, right? And this is the whole thing that, again, every single one of us that's listening right now has to understand. The market is going to get theirs regardless, right? So as long as you're following your rules, you're following your analysis, you're trusting it, and you're not over leveraging, then you have nothing to worry about. It is what it is, the outcome of the trade, right? I focus on what I can control. I don't focus on what I can't control, right? I can't control the outcome of the trades. What I can control is just making sure that I'm finding the highest probability opportunities that I like, that follow my rules, that follow my setup, and then just take it. Whatever happens after that, I don't care, right? It is what it is, right? If we go straight for a win, cool, right? If we go for a loss, it is what it is, cool, right? So that's just the mindset that we really have to understand. All right, we have to understand, guys, that, yeah, it really is all about your approach and how you're going to be doing things. Let's see, I'm up $510, 2 pairs. Let's go. Any chance of Nas getting to 12.5? I mean, it is possible, right? Because we do obviously have a lot of imbalance that's still wide open. So it is very possible, right? In fact, like, we can if we're being honest, there's also a chance for, price to come all the way back up to 13,000, right? There is that chance, right? We'll be fools to think otherwise, right? So there is that chance for sure. But for now, I still want to just see continuations, right? I'm still very much bearish. So that's my bias. Now, the only way that I would be changing that is if this level that I actually have marked off, that I'm actually trying to trade off of, if we end up running above this level right here, right, and we end up breaking this level, see, then that's a different story, right? If we end up running this level right here with a lot of momentum, see, that at that point, I'm just going to accept the fact that I was wrong from this level, and then I'll possibly go ahead and change it and possibly go ahead and target this level of supply at that 12,005. And if we run that one, then we're probably going to end up running up to the 13,000. Right, so definitely a possibility at the end of the day. Again, the market's gonna do what it wants to do. We don't have control over that regardless, right? But overall, focus on what we can control, and then just deal with the outcomes overall, guys. So, but yeah, very interesting movement so far. Let's see, Euro Pound. All right, so the euro is clearly gaining strength right now against the pound. Yeah, we have been bullish now, guys, literally for the entire past week overall. And I want to stay with that momentum, right? Let me just look at this thing from the bigger perspective, right? Weekly, monthly time frame, see where we're at. So we are coming up to a major level of structure, but overall, at least from the smaller time frame, I still think that we do have more upside, right? I think we still can make it all the way up to around that 87 level, which is only around 40 pips away, but I think we still have some more room to go to the upside for sure. All right, for Euro Pound. So I'll just be looking to buy this, right? I'll be looking for more additional or just looking for entries in general to see if you can get involved. Let's see. What best currency to trade when scalping? I mean, any currency, right? If you're scalping and your main intention is to scalp and you have experience, then I would definitely choose probably a more volatile currency, right? A more volatile currency would probably make the most sense because you're only scalping, right? So, smaller moves. Just don't over leverage, obviously. But yeah, faster moving assets will probably benefit you a little bit more. Your scalps might not just be 5, 10, 15 pips, but if you try to scalp like a gold, that scalp on gold is probably like 50, 60 pips, right? So you're able to just get a lot more out of a shorter time frame, right? Shorter time period. So now if you're not experienced, right, then yeah, stick with slower moving pairs. Stick with AUD USD, Euro USD, NZD USD, right? Stick with these slower moving pairs for sure. Can you say which are the easiest pairs? Yeah, so GD, just the ones I mentioned, right? The slowest moving pairs are probably going to be the easiest, the Euro USD, AUD USD, NZD USD, AUD CAD. Anything with Aussie, for the most part, anything that begins in Australian dollar is super slow. So those are probably the ones that I'll be looking for. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's go take a look at EJ. All right, somebody said EJ, so I got you. All right, so where we at here? So I mean, clearly by last time I looked at EJ, I was looking for some more upside, right? And I still think we do have more upside for sure, guys, for EJ. So I'm just going to continue looking for some more bullish reactions here. Same thing with GJ, right? A lot of these yen pairs, guys, right? A lot of these yen pairs in general, they're all moving very, very similarly. And it has to do with, obviously, the policies that the Bank of Japan has, right? The Bank of Japan, guys, is still very much easing, right? They're still printing. You know, they're not really too worried about inflation and things like that, while every other central bank is tightening, right? So when it comes to figuring out which bank or which central bank or which economy is more attractive, it's probably going to be the economy, guys, that's actually tightening, right? Especially if you want to go ahead and invest, you know, in those countries, right? In those currencies, in those bonds and things like that. Yeah, you know, majority of these currencies, guys, are going to be benefiting against the Japanese yen just because of the policies that these central banks are actually having. They're completely different. And that's why I've been extremely bullish a lot of these yen pairs, right? I just think the yen is still completely undervalued because, you know, they're not acting over there, right? You know, their policies over there, guys, are literally benefiting a weaker yen. So I'm just going to continue looking to buy that. So yeah, EURUSD all day long. I just need to see a pullback, right? I'm not going to buy at these levels. I need to see some type of a pullback for us to actually go ahead and experience more higher side. Are you leaving, Nadi?
No, I'm going to take her.
All right, perfect. You can give me a Starbucks?
Yes.
My girl. Let's get it. Big shout out to, make some noise for my wife, guys. She gave me a Starbucks. She knows what time it is. All right. But yeah. All right. That's where we're at. So let's go take a quick look at the markets again, guys. See what they're doing. So overall, they are starting to rebound a little bit. All right. They are starting to rebound just a little tad bit. But again, you guys know where I'm at with this, guys. I'm still very much looking for this thing to turn around, in my opinion. And if I take a L on it, it's all good. You guys know me. I don't care. I'm not one of these traders that try to avoid it, try to hide it. No, I actually show you guys. I talk about it. I encourage you guys to pay attention to when I talk to the losses because it's probably what you're relating to right now, right? I think one reason why I'm doing good in this mentorship space and why I've been able to educate and mentor for the past 4 years is because I try to always look at things from a relatable standpoint, right? I don't just look at my results and then try to protrude or try to expect that you guys understand what I'm going through, right? Because obviously my experience level is completely different, right? It's just completely different, right? What's wrong, baby? So again, I don't like doing that, right? If I'm only talking about the wins, but yeah, you guys are not experiencing those type of wins, then it's only gonna more so make you guys lose motivation, okay? So what I like to do is, yeah, I like to actually talk about the things that you guys are relating to, which are mainly losses right now, probably. So that you guys can understand it's all a part of the game. It's all a part of the process, right? There's nothing. It is what it is, right? Losses are normal. You can't avoid them. You just got to learn how to react from them. It's not the loss, guys, that's the big deal. It's your mindset after the loss that's the big deal. Let me say that one more time because that is a nugget, right? That is such a gem. It is not the loss that's a big deal. It is your mindset after that loss that is usually the big deal, right? And that's usually the big reason why most people do not see success is that they're not able to manage their emotions correctly after a loss, right? So they take one loss. That one loss fucked them up. Excuse my language, right? But now because of that one loss, now they started to experience a lot of losses, right? Because they're not just mentally there. It happens. We got to be able to manage that, right? We got to be able to control that, right? It's usually not that first loss that blows your account. It's your mindset after that first loss that leads to your decision making that blows your account, okay? So as long as we are aware of it, if we are aware of it, we're able to adjust and be disciplined for it, right? That's why I truly believe, guys, that awareness, right? Awareness and accountability, right? Awareness, accountability, and there was another A. I forgot what the third A. I have like a 3A system that I like to follow, right? But awareness and accountability are by far, two of the most important traits that a trader has to have, right? Two most important habits that a trader has to have. Right, because you have to have awareness to understand what the hell you're doing right and wrong, but you also have to hold yourself accountable to understand when it's time to stop doing it. Okay, and it comes down to being disciplined at the end of the day. Majority of people, they're just not disciplined, and that's why they don't win. Right, but besides that, though, family, again, phenomenal release here. We're going to see what actually happens. The only thing that I'm actually currently in, guys, that I actually did take from the actual release was this NAS shorting opportunity, right? So we're going to go ahead and just let this play out. You know, if we win, cool. If we lose, cool. But overall, I really like my ideas. I really like my bias. I really like bearish indice market overall because of the release. So, I'm going to play that, and whatever happens, happens. I don't really care, right? It is what it is. I did my job as a trader. I found the setup. I found the opportunity. I entered the trade. Now, the rest is out of my control, besides maybe some type of trade management as this thing is going, right? But it's that simple. Done and dusted, family. All right, so family, I appreciate you guys. I love y'all, right? This was a quick little 30-minute session, but I do got a few things to do, right? Early in the morning. I've been working very, very hard, guys, with the new launch of this new platform that we're about to launch for you guys, right? The Profit Society. So that is going to be absolutely major. Me and the team have been literally going nonstop, guys, for the past month, putting in work after work after work, just trying to get this thing ready for you guys so that you guys can have an area, right? A place where you guys can come to and interact and talk and just, just mastermind, guys, with other traders, right? That are either learning or other traders that are extremely experienced as well. They're going to be inside of this community. So it's going to be dope, right? It's going to be absolutely fire, guys. So big shout out to every single one of y'all that are going to take advantage of that once it actually does come out. Now, one last thing as well before I get off, family, for anybody that is interested in learning my style of trading, right? I do have a 5-day ProTrader Bootcamp series, video series that I actually created, that I actually did live about 2-3 weeks ago, that I now want you guys to have access to, right? So if you're serious about trading, if you really want to go ahead and take your trading to a whole nother level, then trust me, you do not want to play with this. You want to make sure you go ahead and grab the entire 5-day bootcamp series so that you can get massive, massive, massive value, tremendous value, guys, right? So that you can put yourself in a much better position, right? So overall, absolutely amazing bundle here. Super cheap for the type of value that you're going to be getting as well. So, go ahead and take advantage of it. Now, for those of you guys that are maybe a little bit more experienced, if you guys just want specific days, then you can also do that, right? If you want help with your emotions, discipline, and habits, right? Go ahead and grab day number 1. If you want help with managing risk, right? If you want help with fundamental, sentimental, if you want help with technicals, right? It's all there, right? If you want help with creating an actual system, right? It is all there, guys. So go ahead and take advantage of that. ProTraderBootcamp.com. ProTraderBootcamp.com. Go ahead and get yourself access to that, and take advantage of it. Now, one thing as well, look at what it says at the top. If you purchase one of the recordings, you get access to a private Telegram group, right? So for anybody that does have that purchases, guys, even if it's just one day out the bootcamp, it doesn't even have to be necessarily the entire bootcamp. If you even purchase just one day, you now get access to another private chat with me and the bootcamp students, right? Like I literally have an entire chat, strictly my bootcamp students overall. And just know that chat is about to go up, right? Because we're going to start doing live Zoom calls, weekly Zoom calls together as a team starting next week, right? Maybe once or twice a week, we're going to be coming together on Zoom and just chopping it up for an hour, 2 hours, and just pretty much getting better every single week, right? So if you want access to those private calls, go ahead and grab yourself the bootcamp, get the value, but also get access as well, right? So let's see what we got here. Thank you, Abel. Great info shared this morning. Yeah, 100%, Tammy. Appreciate you. Are you going to the FX Summit, right? So, yeah, I actually am going to be at the FX Summit. I'm actually going to be teaching at the FX Summit, so that's going to be a vibe, right? But that is going to be next year, right? So, yeah, the FX Summit 2023 is going to be absolute banger. I will be there. I will be teaching there as well, so I'm excited for that for sure, right? I'm definitely excited for that. I haven't done an actual big event in a while, but if you guys could actually take a look at this picture right here, right? I've done numerous big events, guys, right? Like, again, I'm not new to this space, right? I'm new to a lot of you guys if you're just now finding me on YouTube, but I'm not new to this space, right? I've literally been trading for 7.5 years, right? I've been educating and teaching for the past 4 years, right? I've literally taught thousands and thousands and I'm talking about thousands of students, guys. I say this in the most humblest way possible, right? But I'm pretty sure I done taught basics to at least probably well over 100,000 students at this point, right? Just because of the position I was in, just because of the platform that I was in, right? I exposed hundreds of thousands and thousands of students, guys, to trading, to the basics of it at least. So again, I'm not new to this, right? Something that I've been doing, right? This event right here, there was 3,000 people at this event. This was an event in Atlanta that was held, that I was actually invited to, and I spoke and I did my thing, right? This is obviously a smaller setting that we actually did over there in Pennsylvania. Right, was absolutely a dope environment though. And then we have this one right here, guys, Trinidad and Tobago, right here, Trinidad and Tobago. There was 3,000 3,000 people in attendance for Trinidad and Tobago, right? We were out there in Trinidad, had an absolute blast, right? Absolutely went crazy. I spoke for about an hour and a half, I believe it was. Like an hour and a half, guys, literally here going in, right? So again, for those of you guys that are new to me, just know I'm not new to this, right? And I will give you guys the real, the raw, the authentic stuff that you need to know, not the fluff and the BS that everybody else is pushing, right? I mean, if you guys keep going too, you guys also can just see what a few of the students actually said about the boot camp, right? But overall, go ahead and get access to that, family, and I'll see you guys on the inside. All right, so let's see. How do we get into on the FX Summit, right? So, yeah, you're going to have to type it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think that they actually have anything up just yet. But once it does, data actually does get released. I don't think it's going to be up just yet, right? But once it does release, then yeah, don't worry. All that information, guys, will be relayed to everybody, every single one of y'all that's watching me at least. But family, I do appreciate y'all. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me this morning. And we'll see how these markets end up playing out, right, at the end of the day. Right? But family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys. If you guys are in the inner circle, I'll see you guys in there. Let's get it. Have a great rest of y'all day.